Welcome back to Wash Talk, everyone, the Car Wash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today we have Danka Dubak, Director of Marketing for AVW Equipment Company. Danka, I know you and your team are getting ready for this big car wash show that we have next month, and time is a premium for you. So certainly appreciate you taking some time to catch up with carwash.com.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're really excited for Las Vegas. Just a few short weeks here until showtime. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing everyone and showcasing our new equipment.
Yeah, I love it. Always stopping by the AVW booth every year. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, in Nashville, you had the detail belt on display, and sitting on top of it was one of those fancy cyber trucks, if I remember.
Yeah, that definitely we did. We had the cyber truck in our booth on top of the detail belt, and it was nice. And the silver cyber truck to kind of show off our stainless steel equipment, going hand in hand with that. We had a lot of fun with the Tesla truck.
All right, and look at
a little teaser. We're gonna have another car on display this year.
Oh, what?
I won't say which kind.
Okay, you leave us in suspense. We'll have to make sure to make our way over to your booth and find out what you got planned for us this year. But Danka, you're certainly one of those families in the industry that has been at this for decades now and generations. If I'm not mistaken, you're the third generation, or you represent the third generation of the company's founding family. So over 50 years in business over at AVW. How has the company been able to maybe reinvent itself over the decades with all the changes? Certainly, we've seen a rapid expansion of technology and automation in recent years. How has the company been able to reinvent itself to deliver modern solutions to operators in this ever-evolving industry?
Sure. Yes, we're really blessed to say that this is our 52nd year in business. I am third generation. Grandfather Mike founded the company in 1973. And something that has stayed true and been kind of the key to our success is, as time has evolved, car washing has changed. The current climate is, all ever evolving. Something that we pride ourselves in is listening to the operators, listening to our customers, and that dictates our equipment enhancements and new designs. So some of our, I'd say, best sellers, top sellers have become industry standards because of this. Going out there, we're out there every single week visiting our customers and hearing, what are your pain points? What can we do better? How can you enhance your bottom line, making everything more efficient? So as times change, we keep up with that. We keep up with the problems and issues and see how we can come up with solutions. And we've been very good at that. I'd say like a recent example of that would be our mat master. So that's our mat cleaning, high pressure piece of equipment that a customer came to us, reached out and said, I'm having trouble washing down the mats. We're using spray guns, mud's getting everywhere. Our facility's getting totally dirty. Can we come up with something together? We collaborated. We made a nice, neat unit that you put the laser cut, like WeatherTech type of mats in and out, and a high pressure washes the dirt right away, and the employees stay clean, the facility stays clean. And that's just kind of an example of how we have been successful in listening and helping solve some solutions in the car washing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that separates the good manufacturers from the great ones. Is something might look good in a boardroom or even in a warehouse somewhere, but once it's out in that field, the eyes are open to a whole host of other opportunities and challenges, maybe. So it's good to hear it right from the operator's mouth, right?
Absolutely. And And why it becomes a great piece of equipment for many people is because the same problem that Sally's experiencing over here, Mike and Tom also are experiencing. So we found that sometimes, problems that car washes are experiencing are universal.
All right, cool. Yeah. So, how have tunnels evolved over these decades that you've been in business over at AVW? What are the enhanced capabilities? How would you define what a modern tunnel looks like today?
Modern tunnel today, well, life just keeps getting faster every single decade. And what's really important in car washing today is processing and consistency, always providing a consistent service. So how do you do that in today's fast-paced environment? And I think that something we do well that helps our customers keep up with today's modern needs is the durability of the equipment, of the material we use for our equipment. So we solely use stainless steel, and the reason for that is it can withstand the harsh environment. So it's very important today that I think in modern car washing, with social media, with the speed of word of mouth, unfortunately, one bad experience can cost you that member. And we have seen, you want to be on, you want to always be, you don't want to be down, because you're down, that's a bad reputation. And there, in car washing, as we all know, lots of options where people can wash. So if you're down, the guy down the street is open for business. So making sure your equipment can withstand the needs of today. Everyone wants to get in and out and on with their lives, and it's more and more and more. And I think that it's important not to be breaking down. You might want to consider, are you ensuring your equipment has the capability to maintain those car counts that we all want?
Funny thing about those competitors, they're always willing to take on new customers, right? Especially if it's at your expense. So
Don't
don't
let them. Don't
don't
let
don't want that happening. But just going on the company's website, Danka, and I know just having known the company for as long as I've been in the market, you describe your equipment as quote unquote simplicity and in motion, and having that design is often mentioned. So, what does this mean specifically, and why is it important to operators to have simplicity and motion, and then ultimately that end customer who's coming to bring their dirty vehicle to the wash?
Sure. So that's something that we've stayed true to our core is car washing should be simple. That's what we believe. And our founder always, always believed that. And that's seen through our designs, because you have the operator in mind. So you want your equipment that you're using to be simple to use, operate, and maintain. And that's what we mean with that, is if you do break down, which it happens, but you want to get back up and running as fast as possible. So we don't overcomplicate it, and it shouldn't be car washing shouldn't be complicated. And you want to make it as simple as possible so that you can wash as many cars as possible. And that's why, that's where car washing made simple. And again, back to listening to the customer, we're not just in designing equipment just for the need of ourselves and making something new to overcomplicate. We're listening to your problems and coming up with simple solutions.
Well, you certainly provided a simple solution for me while researching and preparing for this interview. Just going back to the website, you have a nice little timeline on there, which helps me kind of see how the company has evolved over the years. I see in 2005 the company launched the the belt conveyor for wet wash applications. I know just 6 years prior to that, in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, AVW introduced the detail belt conveyor. So were these belts a hit right from the start? And how would you describe kind of the overall wash segments transition from roller and chain to belt conveyor?
Yeah, that it's been a journey with belt conveyors. We kind of pioneered the belt conveyor in a wet environment starting in the late 90s when a good friend customer of ours called us up and said, it was for the detail belt, like you mentioned. He was really frustrated watching his guys get in the car, move it up, get out of the car, wash it, move it down the line, run back, get to the next car. It was just so inefficient. So he actually called my mom and she picked up the phone and he said, Mira, I want to run this by you. You know those like moving sidewalks in the airport? What do you think if we just applied that concept to my detail center? There's nothing that gets us going more than a challenge and a custom job idea. So of course we were up for the challenge and we did. We collaborated on that and put that together. And the whole point of that belt conveyor for detailing is you essentially have an assembly line now, and you can process faster because your labor is constantly moving in a line. You don't have to run back and move the cars, manually. It's just an automated system. So beautiful. That was how that concept started. And then it evolved for express exterior models as well, like with the dual detail belt. The dual belt.
Tapping into that operator brain trust again, I see. Huh?
Yes. Our secret sauce.
That's it. So why should an operator, if they do have a roller and chain and they're interested in belts, what is the business case? Why should an operator make the investment in belt conveyors? And are there any situations where maybe belts aren't practical or optimal for an application?
Our answer on that is going to be no.
Okay.
And I'll share a story about that. Well, we had another customer who had a double tunnel site. Okay. He was on the fence. He had the traditional conveyor, chain and roller, and he was wondering if I should make the switch to belts. I don't know. Should I do it? You know what? Why don't you just do it in one of your tunnels, keep the other one operating with the chain, and see how the belt does, and then you can consider switching both. Okay. So he did, and he put in the belt in his tunnel. After about 6 months, they came to find out that they washed 20 times more cars on the belt than they did on the traditional conveyor. It's not opinion, it's fact. You will process more cars, and you do process more cars with the belt conveyor. So you have to consider, I know everyone is worried it's an investment. It's an investment, but what is your ROI? Long-term investment, you're going to be able to process more cars and have a better bottom line with the belt conveyor.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned earlier in the conversation, the processing is key to success these days, especially as traffic count goes up with membership and interest in car washing these days. But Danka, I'm not sure if you're familiar. I wrote an article a few years back about the business case for installing belts in a car wash, and I know that all belts aren't built the same, right? So what separates your company's belts from the competition?
The fact that we've been at it the longest. We have seen, I always like to say that farmers insurance, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. We've been through it all. We've been through the bad days and the good days, and we're on our 6th generation belt conveyor design today. So what separates us is that we've been there and we've done it all. We are the experts. We have the best belt because we have seen it all.
Nice. Certainly a nice looking belt, that is for sure. And it'll be on display at the car wash show, like I mentioned, in Las Vegas. So Danka, I'll get you out of here with this final question. And again, I appreciate your time today. Common theme throughout this call today, this interview has been the inspiration from operators. So whether through operator feedback or just the R&D that your company is doing, are there any new products you've recently introduced to the market or in development on that you can clue us in on?
Okay, I will probably talk about, like you said, our theme with listening to the customer. We are currently working on our disposable towel dispensing unit. So this came from a request, and this is after actually hearing from so many operators the pain points of the end service with towel drying and the labor and kind of maintenance of keeping up with customers walk away with towels, constantly ordering new towels and having spray bottles and kind of just maintaining all of that. It's a lot. It's a big cost. So what we're currently working on is a machine that will automatically like when you're finished with your car wash, the customer has the option to choose, do they want the towel to be with glass chemical cleaner or maybe chemical for your dash, and then they take it, it's a disposable wipe, and they wipe down on their own, and then they're off on their way. This kind of helps the car wash operator with those issues that they were facing, again, with labor and management of towels and bottles. So that's something fun and interesting we've been working on lately. Something you mentioned, the car wash show, that I'm personally excited about showcasing is digital signage. So today there is such cool advancements in LED options. And we talked a lot about the equipment on the inside of the car wash. I think it's really important to be enticing on the outside as well and draw those customers in. You want to always differentiate yourself. So on display, we're going to have 2 digital signage options that are pretty epic. And that is something we've tapped into last year and this year as well into the signage market. And I'm excited to showcase that.
Sounds like a fancy new vehicle too, as well on the belt this year. We'll have to stop by and see it. Well, it sounds like the suggestion box is open for operators to bring their challenges to AVW and maybe spark some inspiration. It's great catching up with you, Danka. I look forward to seeing you next month in Las Vegas.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you as well.